Now, I want to go to some more now on the turmoil facing the coalition, which is now, of course, spread to the Nationals. I caught up with the former Nationals leader and, of course, Deputy Prime Minister for many years, John Anderson. And I asked him whether the departure of Barnaby Joyce will be a loss for the Nationals.
Well, I think the general point I'd make is that I don't buy this line that there's strength in diversity, quite frankly. I'm with Abraham Lincoln, a house divided cannot stand. So the coalition, given that its differences have spilled out into the open arena, the arguments are there, we might as well have them in a full-blooded way, establish what we actually believe in, and go forward with some clarity and some conviction and some unity so the government stops getting away with being a very weak and directionless government. I've always thought Barnaby's high intelligence meant that he's had a role to play, and I would be sorry to lose that.
Well, he's going, obviously. He says he's been sidelined by David Littleproud, that it's been made clear that he's not wanted in the public debate, so that's his reason for leaving. Is he right then to do that, or should he have tried to stay and have the debate internally?
Well, my personal view is that you have the debates, you have them furiously. I don't know whether they've had those or not. Perhaps it's reached the point of no return. But my view is that you have those arguments. It's regrettable when they stray into the public arena because the public doesn't like disunity. But given that it has, what this country needs now is a massive dose of reality. We're not getting it. So let's have a full-blooded debate. I say, let's have all the disagreements out there. If we must disagree more, let's just do it in a better way and then land in a better place. Yeah, and only Barnaby can answer his view on that.
Yeah, I agree with that general proposition. I'll come back to that in a moment. But first up, Barnaby has spoken again today and he said he's not for turning. He will be leaving the Nationals. Here he is.
I'm not going to do this thing where you're out for 24 hours or 48 hours and then you're back. No, it's not that. This is a really hard decision that I made, and I thought of it over a very long period of time as things got sort of worse and worse and worse, to be honest. And now I've made it. There's nothing that's changed in the last couple of days that would ever, you know, I wouldn't create this kerfuffle if I was just going to flippantly go in and come back, go out and then flip back in.
Yeah, so he's off from the Nationals at the next election. We don't know when he leaves the party room or what he's doing next. And he was asked today about, again, this proposition that he might turn up as a Senate candidate for One Nation. Here he is again.
Pauline and I have fought bitterly against one another, but you know, things move on. And I think there are a lot of her causes that I have, you know, I'm on similar wavelength with. But if you say everything, no, of course not. But that's, you know, but I'm not a member of One Nation. I have not asked for a membership form.
John Anderson, would a defection to One Nation compound any damage to the coalition and the Nationals by dragging away some of their vote?
Well, I think it would, but the coalition has to be absolutely realistic. It's very obvious in the numbers, black and white, that a lot of the base at the moment has moved to One Nation, at least as a protest warning, if you like. Bringing them back requires that the coalition gets its act together. And that's the whole of the coalition. Disunity is death. And given that it's spilled into the public arena, this is the thing I'd want to say, given that the Australian community is itself so fractured and so uncertain on what matters, we might as well now have the full-blooded debate. Now, it would plainly send shockwaves through the system if Barnaby were to run as a Senate candidate. He's a free citizen. He can do that if he likes. He's not unintelligent. He's not smart. And not stupid. And he does care passionately about Australia. He's a patriot. He once said that of me when we disagreed on lots of other things. I'll say that about him now. But if he possibly can, then it is my profound belief that a properly functioning coalition has given Australia its best governance in the past. It can do it again in the future, but we've got to end the division. You can only end the division if you have a proper row now. I would have preferred it behind closed doors. Hasn't happened that way, so it's in the public arena. Let's have it properly and settle on the things that have to be confronted if Australia's slide into long-term structural weakness is to be arrested and if our children are to have the opportunities that we had.
Well, a key policy there, and perhaps the central one when it comes to coalition and Liberal Party disunity, is net zero. Matt Canavan is saying at a party room Friday week, both parties should come together and not just thrash out the debate, but land on a position. Is that what's needed? You've got to do this quickly so you can get on with it. Don't let it drag out any longer.
Yes, I believe that's absolutely right. You've got to take a position on it and take it clearly and explain it and lead on it and not simply follow. Because if you're following on this debate at the moment, for example, here's a crystal example of what's going wrong here, crystal clear. The majority of Australians apparently still believe that renewable energy is cheaper. It isn't. The international experience tells you it's not cheaper. It's less reliable. It's more expensive. It will damage what little industry we have left now. It will continue to drag our GDP and our growth down. And in addition to that, if it's not handled in a much better way, it will block us from the next, if you like, industrial revolution, which is digital and AI, concerned as we might be about AI. That's where future wealth generation for Australia is going to come from largely. If our young people want opportunities, they need to be engaged in this debate. Point one is renewables are not cheaper. They've not been cheaper anywhere in the world where you've pursued the sort of policy, not that anybody has, that Australia is doing at the moment. Facts, evidence, make the case. Leaders must lead.
Yeah, agreed. No one's really been making those arguments, and public perceptions would change dramatically if the coalition led that debate. Thanks so much for joining us, John Anderson. I appreciate it.
Thank you.